Hi everyone, it's NonnaGrace, and I'm from Western New York. Today I was trying to find a title for this video that I don't even know what the topic is. Isn't that fun? But anyways, I go on to TubeBuddy and I thought, I was thinking about things that I was allowed to do, but others are not allowed to do. So I think I'm going to entitle this, We Could, Why Can't They? Is what I'm going to entitle it. So, and the reason I wanted to talk about that is I was talking to, I don't know, one of these YouTubers. I don't know the channel name. I don't have a name for her, so it's usually the name that I remember. But we were talking about archery and guns. And I took archery in school. And I had this one gym teacher. She was really into archery. And I was very good at it. I enjoyed it. In fact, in the summer, my father used to get me a couple bales of hay so that I could practice shoot. And I used to put a target on it. Well, when my parents died, the guns all went to my brothers, and I'm sure the bow and arrow did too. So I don't have it. I don't know what happened to it, but it would be nice to have it. I remember stringing it. It was rather hard to string, but as I got a little bit older, it was a little easier. When you learn how to do it, you stick your leg through the string area and the bow, and you kind of push down on it and get it up into the thing. And I had real arrows. I didn't have fake rubber arrows. I had the real thing. And another thing I was thinking about is when I would ride my bike. I would ride it up and down the street. A lot of kids aren't allowed to ride up and down the street. And I didn't have to wear a helmet. Today, you have to wear a helmet. When we were going to go over into Canada, we were going to ride bikes. We were bringing our bikes. And even we had to wear helmets. So we bought some helmets because we didn't own helmets at the time for Jim and I. Because over here, if you're over 18, you didn't have to wear a helmet. Where in Canada, you had to wear a helmet. Another thing that I did, and I did a lot of this, I roller skated, and I didn't wear I didn't wear knee pads, elbow pads, wrist pads, helmets, but I did fall a lot, but I learned to not fall. That was another thing that kids are today. They wear the whole get-up. Otherwise, they're not allowed to go outside and play. I used to walk on a barrel. Do you know the barrels that they had for the gas tanks? We used to have one that was, we used to lay it over, and it probably was a good 3.5 to 4 feet tall. And it was wide enough for at least 3 of us to get on it. So we used to roll the barrel, roll up onto it, stand up, and walk. And the people, when they drive by in their car, used to slow down and watch us walk, because what we were doing is we were actually rolling the lawn to flatten it. So a lot of times you use these big, heavy rollers behind a lawnmower, and that's how they roll the lawn. But we used to roll the lawn with this big barrel. We also walked on stilts. Now the stilts today are like 12 inches or less from the ground. We had 3-foot and 5-foot stilts that we walked on. And if you walked on the ones that were 12 inches from the ground, that was how you began. That's how you started to learn. We used to get onto the roof of the barn to get on the stilts because it was very high. Or we'd get on the other gas tank, because we used to have our own gasoline that we could pump into the vehicles, because we had farm equipment along with cars, and so we used to be able to back up the vehicle to the gas tank. And so we used to stand on the gas tank to get on the stilts so that you were high enough up, at least 3 feet up, and then you'd take off and walk. And I took a picture. I wasn't on the stilts at the time, but I did take a picture of my sister, my brother, and my other brother, and they were on the 12, 3-foot, and 6 or 5-foot stilts. I think they were 5 foot. Yeah, 5 foot. And they were standing underneath each other. Now, we wouldn't be allowed to do that today. That would be very dangerous, they would say. We also had a rope that we hung off a tree that when we swung over the creek, we braided that rope. It was made out of what I called hay rope, which you call twine. Hay bale twine or something? I don't know what you call it. I called it hay rope, because it was what tied up the hay from the cow. We used to save the rope off of it, and we braided it and hung it to a tree, and it went over the creek, and we used to get on there and we pretend we were like Tarzan and go swinging over the creek. What else did we do that was kind of not allowed to do today? We had a trampoline in the school. Schools don't have trampolines now. We had a sawhorse. We had, no.
Just a horse.
The horse, okay, not a sawhorse. That's for lumber. Yeah. Sorry. We had a horse, and we had the parallel bars, and we had the springboard. And I remember us doing flips. They used to put because I was little, they used to use me as the example. It's a wonder I could do it, because today I would get really sick and throw up, because I get motion sick real easy. But they used to put the belt on you, and then you used to do a flip either on the mats or up on the trampoline. And the kids would all stand around the trampoline in case you went the wrong direction, because there were no safety nets. They didn't have nets like they have now. It just had the little bit of padding around the edge, and then there was the springs, and then there was the mat. And it was an oblong one that we had at the school. We also had the ropes that you would climb in the middle of the gym. They're not allowed to do that anymore. That's too dangerous. They could fall.
We had ropes with knots and ropes without knots.
Well, we had them, I think. I don't remember. I think the girls always climbed the ones with the knots, probably. And I remember climbing that rope, and the bigger girls used to say it's because I was little, and I says, but my arms are only as strong as your arms to lift my weight. But maybe I was stronger. I don't know. Maybe the weight that they had to lift was a little bit much, but I was very strong, and I could go up to the top and touch whatever it was we were supposed to touch. They should have had a bell up there, but they didn't. And then come back down. Those are the things that we were allowed to do. We could ride our bikes on the road. We could play ball on the road. We used to play 2 grounders and a fly in the middle of the road. And it was where you had the baseball bat, and there would be, you could throw the ball up and hit it yourself. This way you didn't have to have a pitcher. So you'd throw the ball up and give it a whack. And if they caught it with a fly, then they were up to bat. Otherwise, you had to get 3 that rolled on the ground, and those were called grounders. And then we used to say, car, and everybody move over to the same side. You always went to the same side, because cars, this way they didn't have to watch if there's a kid on this side and a kid on this side. We were all on the same side, and make it easier for the traffic to go by. And we used to ride our bike in the road. We used to do a lot of stuff in the road that kids don't do in the road today, even though it was a country road. And even the country roads today, people don't play in them. So I guess that's my video. So we could do it. So the title was, I wrote it down. I went into TubeBuddy. If you want to find any good titles or tags, you go into TubeBuddy, and it's free. But TubeBuddy doesn't like me today. It only let me do 5 different things. What is, I think of something and I write it down and I try it, and it will tell me whether I've got a good score or a bad score. And I try to choose anything that's in the 50s or above as my good score. I consider those a good score. And then it will show me these hearts, this happy face with big hearts, because it wants me to buy the program. But I don't want to buy the program. I just use it for free. And so there's some days that it will go every day. It will show me the hearts, and so I have to think of this myself. And then there's, oh, excuse me. This is sad. I'm talking too long, and I'm swallowing a lot of air. But there's days that it will let me just check to see what there is that I can use as tags or as a title. And so today's title I chose out of TubeBuddy. I was lucky. Because the next one, it gave me the funny face with the heart eyes. And the title is going to be, We Could, Why Can't They? Is the title I'm going to use. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this rambling of everything that we could do and they can't. I think I thought of everything. I don't know. But anyways, I will talk to y'all again tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.